obviously there's a lot of people that, let's say they love barbecue, they love to cook barbecue, but there's a difference between loving to do something and then being truly passionate with it. What do you believe made you different to be able to build this brand? Like, what do you think that you did differently? Is it just that you stuck with it longer, or do you think it was something else?
I think one of the things that made it different is I stuck with it, and I tried to bring a positive vibe with it. I like to interact with the people that I'm serving as much as I can. And I took art in high school because I was passionate about art, and I always felt like that food needs to kind of look good. You know, it has to be a certain way. The pit has to be turned a certain way. My guys laugh at me to this day because I like to try to wipe everything down to perfection before we even leave the restaurant. And they look at me and they laugh. They said, nobody's going to see that part. And I was like, I do. Yeah. So I think that passion of wanting to give your best and create a memorable experience is the one thing that makes it unique.
Yeah, and as you said, I mean, it's that attention to detail. I mean, things that maybe someone would say that someone wouldn't notice or maybe wouldn't matter. It is getting those details right. Were you always that way, or is that something that evolved over time?
Well, again, I've been always that way because I've always loved cars. And I remember as a child, I would walk up to those old 70s and 80s GM and Chevy cars, and you'd see that strip of chrome, and I would take my finger and try to shine that piece of chrome because I felt like that part was overlooked. And same thing with everything I do to this day. I like to make sure all of the details that I can and do recognize are all on point.
Yeah, a lot of people, I mean, in today's society, they see kind of the outcome. They see Rodney Scott, James Beard Award winner. You see on Netflix, you see all this stuff. But what they really don't see oftentimes is the climb to get there. Yeah. And I'm curious, what were some of the challenges that you ran into kind of like growing over these years? Like what were some of maybe the mistakes that you made?
Man, lots of mistakes I've made over the years, and I took notes from them. You know, if something caught fire because I wasn't in the right position or had something in the right place, I remember, don't do that anymore. And if something was combustible close to the pit, remove that, change the material. Ask questions, always took advice. A lot of things that I've encountered, from financial to physical, lots of mistakes. I always took a note from it and applied it to the future, to the next event, the next outcome, the next setup.